2012 CAA Football Media Day Live.
Hanging out here with the head coach at Rhode Island, Joe Trainer, 3-8, 2-6 last year in the conference. So obviously, what did we learn from last year, and what are the expectations going into 2012?
Well, we were coming off a season 2010 where we had shown good improvement, going 4-4 in the conference, and and then really taking a step back last year was disappointing. But took a lot of comfort in knowing that the expectation was high and continues to be high. And I think if we can stay healthy and and win the home games, we're going to have a shot at being very competitive in the conference.
Working, I guess, some new players in, 9 returning starters. So how do you fill some of the roles?
Well, I guess it's listed as 9, but we had our quarterback, the guy that's coming back as a junior, he unseated. We made a quarterback move middle of the season, so in essence, we think we have our starting quarterback back. Right. We had 2 starters last year, our starting running back and our starting offensive tackle that missed the entire year with injuries. So, I'm incredibly optimistic about the guys that we are returning. We took a couple junior college transfers and a couple 4-year transfers, and we think those guys are going to make their impact felt immediately. At least we hope so. And I think if we can get off to a good start in September, I think we'll be relative in November.
You talk about a quarterback, Bob Benson, who comes in midway through the season. How much does that help, especially I think at the quarterback position, now getting that experience and now going into this year already having that under his belt?
Well, certainly it's incredibly valuable. I mean, the thing that, we've talked at length about is, when you come in off the bench, there's not a ton of pressure on you. Hey, you haven't really processed a lot, and, ignorance is bliss, so to speak. And then, you come in as the starter with high expectations, and and now putting pressure on yourself, and basically having the pressure to perform, is certainly going to be there this year, unlike last year. But we're very excited about him. We think he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the conference this year.
Doug Johnson on defense, one of the best there at linebacker, and certainly I know a lot can revolve around your linebacker core. How much do you put on a young man like Doug Johnson at linebacker?
We think the world of Doug. We have a guy that's on the practice squad with Atlanta, Matt Hanson, who played 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. He reminds us a lot of, it's cut from that same cloth, very physical. Doug didn't come to us until preseason camp. He didn't have a spring practice under his belt, so we think this year he's just going to hit the ground running and pick up where he left off and be one of the best linebackers in the conference.
Are you able to keep your guys focused on this season when certainly at Rhode Island there is a lot of talk about what the future of Rams football will be?
Yeah, honestly, the task at hand is the 2012 season. Right. And 1AA or FCS, it's very fluid. 3 years ago I was here with UMass, Hofstra, and Northeastern. And now they're not. And then you have 1AA guys moving up and moving over, and so you worry about, like you tell your players, you worry about what you control. Right. And the only thing we control is how we're preparing for the 2012 season, and ultimately how we're performing in the 2012 season.
And certainly within the CAA, when you talk about the best of the FCS, CAA football, no week is an easy week. Certainly that. If you need to focus, you can really try to focus on conference, right?
Oh man, it's a meat grinder of a conference. The fine line between winning and losing in this conference, and then you have all the subplots underneath that. When are you playing a team? Some teams are fast starters, some teams are notoriously slow starters and fast finishers. Some teams are more formidable at home than they are on the road. Some teams play exceptionally well on the road. So all those things factor into it, and at the end of the day, we control what we control, and that's our productivity and our effort.
You guys kick off the season September 8th, which is a week later, so you get a little bit more practice time, right?
Well, you don't get more practice time. It's basically, the NCAA basically uses a formula where you have 40 opportunities before the first game, and 40 practice units, and so everyone's kind of reporting at the exact number of those within those 40 units prior to their first game. It might be a couple more days of R&R more than anything.
Right.
I certainly won't sniff at that.
All right. Well, you guys kick it off against Monmouth, at Monmouth in New Jersey.
Yep.
September 8th to start the season. Coach, good to see you. And
Great
best
to
of
see
luck
you. Thanks a lot, Brad.
in 2012.